Are heavy bullets better in the 7mm-08 handgun for hunting? That's the question we want to answer today. But let me give you my history with this great round. It started way back in 2007. Gosh, a long time ago. I started reloading for the 7mm-08 with 120 grain ballistic tips by Nosler, and I've been using those this whole time. So why change now? That's a question I have to ask myself. I've shot several deer with it, and all of them have gone straight down. First, let me give you my parameters. My max distance I want to stay in is 250 yards. Not 300, not 200. 250. It's the only yardage I'm going to concentrate on. Now, why is that? If you plug the numbers into a ballistics calculator and say 200 yards is your zero, look what happens to the bullet at 250. It's going to drop off at roughly 4.5 inches. At 300 yards, it's probably going to drop between 10.5 and 11 inches. If I can stay at 250 yards or below, I don't have to worry about ballistic plexus, mil dots, or holding high on the animal. I can just put it where I want it and make the shot. Now, what's important to me as a handgun hunter? Accuracy. That's number one. But right behind accuracy, in order to get accuracy, you have to have forgiveness in a hunting sense. Now, what do I mean by that? The first part of forgiveness is the wind. I think the wind has saved an awful lot of animals' lives. Plug 20 miles an hour into a ballistics calculator and see what happens to your bullet at any given distance. I think the answer may surprise you. The second part of forgiveness is recoil. Recoil has saved a ton of animals. But we're guys, right? We don't want to admit that recoil bothers us. But here's a question for you. How many times have you put the crosshairs on an animal and squinted your eyes and pulled the trigger, hoping to make the shot, only to look up and see that white flag going the other way? I've done it more times than I care to admit. So heavy bullets may produce too much recoil. That's something we want to find out today. Okay, so tonight I'm proof testing rounds. I'm going to start out with the 175 grain Sierra and a 7mm-08, and what I'm doing is I'm running the bullet all the way up to the land, and I'm going to start low on my powder charge and work all the way up to the top of the book value and see where I'm at. Hopefully I can run it up as high as possible. If I can proof test all these with the ogive touching the land, then I know I can do anything in the book with that round. So I'm going to try to run it as hot as possible and then go for accuracy at the top of the chart. So that's the target I'm aiming at. As you can see, everything is low. I'm shooting right here at this one, and you can see my notes there, but there's 38 grains, there's 38.5 grains, and then it drops all the way down here at 39 grains. So I don't know if that was me or not, but then it moved back up at 39.5 grains, and then here's my 3 shots with the 40 grains. So I'm gonna go shoot 3 more, see if I can get some groups going, and I will move this up a little bit at the same time. So we'll be shooting at the top target this time. Official way to cool off a barrel. Okay, there's the latest effort right there. I'm talking with the pen cap in my mouth. There's my latest effort, those 3 shots. The top 2 being the last 2, whatever that means. So anyway, looks like about an inch group from 75 yards, more than an inch. Inch and a quarter group. Switching rounds, I'm going to go to an AMAX bullet, 162 grain AMAX. And again, starting low with the powder charge. So this ought to be like really simple, real easy on the recoil compared to those 175 grainers I was just shooting. But we'll see. The interesting thing will be where it actually lands on the target compared to the other one. So. Yeah, that's night and day difference. There was no recoil to it. Moving up, primer still looks good. Focus, camera, focus. So that last one was 38.5, and it actually touched the round I shot before it, so that might be something to think about. So here's the first shot in my proof testing. I start at the bottom here, 33.9 grains, move up a little bit more, then 39, and finally at the top of the book value for max, I have a 39.5 down here, and there's also one in this cluster up here. So those are pretty far apart in my book. What I did next was shoot at a fresh target, come over here, and I have 2 of them close together. I know I pulled that shot. So my question is, going back over here, what made this particular bullet go low? If I got them one up here and these 2 shots, there are 3 pretty close together. I know I pulled that one. I don't know what happened over here. That's the question. If it wasn't for that one shot, I know that I would be happy with that particular load, that 39.5 grains of powder of 4064 in this particular load. Here's my conclusion. I think the 175 grain Game Kings had just too much recoil for what I want to deal with in a hunting situation. Remember, you're trying to make that quick shot, your fingers might be cold, and you don't want to have to think about the adverse effects of recoil. That could really cost you out in the field. The 162 grain AMAX, for whatever reason, even though it's only 13 grains difference in bullet weight, had a lot more modest recoil to it. So I'm going to stick with those. The next test I'll be doing is the OCW test, or the optimal charge weight. If you want to know what that means, go to Dan Newberry's site. There's also a couple really good YouTube videos. Just type that in, OCW, or optimal charge weight. If you're considering hunting with the 7mm-08, I hope this video was a good starting point for you if you're going to reload. Please hit the subscribe button before you leave. You can also check out more videos at Trifectahandgun.com. Woo! That, my friends, is a lot of recoil for a 7mm-08. A lot.